Hello and welcome to the CompCalc Plus 2017 Training and Support video, Rating with the CompCalc Plus. Before we begin, the viewer of this video, as well as all users of the CompCalc, should be advised that it's not the intent of the law office of Richard Montalvo to create an attorney-client relationship, nor provide legal advice. All viewers of this video and or users of the CompCalc are instructed to consult an attorney and or the DEU to confirm all information and data provided. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Once again, I'll be using the iPhone 7 Plus for this demonstration, but be advised that the CompCalc is available on Android smartphones as well as tablets, iPad, as well as Apple computers and Windows computers. In fact, new for 2017 is the CompCalc will be available at the Windows Microsoft Store for download for Windows Microsoft computers. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. You'll see on the display in the upper, I'm at the desktop of the iPhone 7 Plus, and you'll see the icon for the beta version of the CompCalc. I'm going to go ahead and tap on that. It comes up CompCalc Plus 2017, the complex made simple. It goes into the last module that I was utilizing when I last was in the CompCalc. And you'll recall from the basic features and functions, there are essentially two ways to navigate through the different modules. One are the icons at the bottom or at the top. The other is the swipe left or right. I'm swiping left to get over, and that's taking too long. So I'm just going to hit the PD rating icon at the bottom on my phone. Okay, the first thing I want to do is go through the screen so that you're familiar with the different aspects of the CompCalc. You'll see in the upper left-hand corner a scratch pad. That's a pencil with a pad. That allows you to erase, or delete rather, individual rating strings, and I'll show you how that works later. To the right hand, next to the CompCalc 2017 Plus logo, on the right hand of your display, you'll see a plus symbol. That allows you to add a second rating string where you have multiple parts of body that you're rating for a given date of injury. Below that, next to the caption, Permanent Disability Rating Schedule, to the left, you'll see a whisk broom. Now what this does is it erases all inputs so that you can start a new rating. Now what you should be advised is this is a permanent erasure, but you don't have to do that. You can go ahead and modify your rating through hypotheticals, modifying your input, your whole person impairment, perhaps your apportionment, to get different rating strings, and then save those individually away to be printed out or emailed at a later date. To the right of the Permanent Disability Rating Schedule, you'll see the box with the arrow up. That's the export icon. That allows you to save, restore, print, or email your finished rating. Now, going from top to bottom, below the caption Permanent Disability Rating Manual Schedule, you'll see all the classic, or all the required inputs rather, for your rating. You've got date of birth, date of injury, whole person impairment, part of body, occupation, apportionment to industrial injury, then average weekly wage. Note that given the date of injury, the CompCalc will assume a max earner, whether it be for PD or for TD, but that can be modified one of three ways. Number one, it assumes maximum given the date of injury. Second, you can input your average weekly wage, and it will calculate your PD or TD rate, depending on which module you're in, never above the max or below the min given the date of injury. And then number three, you can put in, if you know the PD rate, you can put in the PD rate. It will reverse calculate your average weekly wage. And the reason I put that feature in, that's new for 2017, is often you know the PD rate, but you don't want to look through the file to know what the average weekly wage is. You know what you've been paying, advancing by way of PD, or paying by way of TD, and you just want to put that in for a quick calculation. So I modified the code. That was something that I think Brad Chalk asked that be added. Okay, one other thing I want you to be aware of, and that has to do with ADA compliance. If you're like me and you use reading glasses and you cuss about that fact, it's tough for me. I flew in the Navy. It's tough for me to wear any type of glassware, but reading glasses, You may want to go ahead and enlarge it without grabbing your reading glasses. So one thing we've done on the CompCalc is put the pinch feature in, so you can enlarge it just by pinching the screen. Second, we on the rating string itself, where it says body, whole person, impairment, DFEC, occupation, and age at the bottom, that rating string that we're going to fill in a moment, if you hold down your finger on that, your thumb or your index finger, any digit, hold it down for just a second, bam, it enlarges your rating string so that you can read it. Then to get out of that, you just tap any place on the screen and it removes it. So you hold it down on the area that says body, whole person, impairment, DFEC, your rating string at the bottom, and then you tap to remove that. You'll also see at the bottom combined value on. If you have multiple rating strings, this will automatically apply the combined value equation up to 8 separate rating strings. So the CompCalc can do a very complex rating for you. Second, you'll see the amount. The amount is going to be the indemnity. Given the date of injury, given the input of the average weekly wage, if you do that, after adjustment for age, occupation, and considering apportionment, it'll give you a finished rating. Let's go ahead and do our first rating, and let's go to our old friend, the DFEC lumbar spine DRE 3 13% standard. First thing I'm going to do is it says tap to select in the date of birth area. So I'm going to tap to select, I'm going to hit that, and I use pickers, you might call them rollers. And let's say this person was born on January 1965, January 15th, okay? Now I've rolled those dates in, and I can either hit OK, or here's a practice tip. If you just double tap on the area that says January 15th, 1965, just hit it twice, it automatically inputs it. Now we're going to do our date of injury. And let's say this guy was injured on August 25th, 2010. Again, I can hit OK in the upper right-hand corner just below that plus symbol to the right of date of injury, or I can just tap my screen twice where it said August 25th, 2010, and now I've inputted that. Now I said we're doing a DRE 3 13% standard, and I rolled a 13, I double tap, and bam, I've just inputted that. Okay, now here's the tricky part, and I get more questions about this in the rating. In fact, when this first came out, I received an adverse review because the idiot, and I know who you are, he's a good guy, I'm kidding him, who wrote the review, instead of calling me, he wanted to write an adverse review, or actually he did, because he couldn't figure out this. Okay, I want you to watch this. If I tap on the area that says tap to select to the right of part of body, because the next two fields are part of body and occupation, watch what happens. I'm going into general part of body and detailed part of body. Now if I tap in the area of the screen that actually says general part of body, detailed part of body, not tap to select, but the title, general part of body, detailed part of body, I go back out, and now I'm back out to part of body and occupation. When I tap to the right of occupation, it says tap to select, so I'm selecting occupation. Now I go into occupational industry, schedule of occupation. To come back out to part of body, occupation, I just tap in the area where the title is located. So let's do our first one, and we'll see how that works. We're going to go into part of body. So it says tap to select, so I'm going to tap that input field, not the title area where it says part of body, but the input field that says tap to select. I tap on that. Now I go into general part of body, detailed part of body. One of the things that I want you to observe is this rule. Always work from top to bottom when you're doing a rating. So general part of body, I'm going to tap to select general part of body. And I told you that it was a spine injury, right? A lumbar spine. This is right out of the schedule. Here's a roller of all the different parts of body. I'm going to select spine. I tap on it once to reverse highlight it so you can see where I am. I'm going to double tap on that, and I've just inputted spine. Now, what I did for part of body and for occupation is I built a relational database, and the way I did that was I loaded all the information into an array, and then I developed a relation one to the other, so that if you select spine as your general part of body, your detailed part of body are going to be limited to spine, so that it limits what you have to look through. So detailed part of body, I'm going to double click on that, and now we're down to just the spine. But to even make it quicker and easier to use, I put in a search engine, and it says, it has the hourglass, which is the icon for search. Type in text to search. So I'm going to tap on that, and up comes a keyboard, and I'm going to type in lumbar, L-U-M. And now you can see my input is limited to the lumbar, and of course the DRE is the first one on the list. I'm going to double click on that, and I've just inputted the lumbar diagnostic related estimate as my modifier. Okay, now where it says general part of body, detailed part of body, I'm going to tap the screen in that area where I have the title, general part of body, detailed part of body. I'm going to tap on that, and now I'm going to go back out. Now I have occupation. I have to input occupation. Here again, I have a relational database. When I tap to select occupation, part of body goes away, and I go into occupational industries and schedule of occupation. Now, I want you to realize this is a relational database, so I want to limit and make it easier to select the correct occupation. And I did that a number of different ways. And this is Jason Marcus, and I know Brad had some input on this chalk as well. Occupational industries, schedule of occupation. I'm going to tap on occupational industries, again working from top to bottom. And here's an alphabetized list of all of the different occupational industries. How's that? One thing I want you to be aware of, if you select all or any, and let me show you how this works. I'm going to select all industries or any industries. I've not limited my occupations. So I'm going to go ahead and double tap on all industries. Now I'm going to look at the schedule. Well, guess what? The schedule is an alphabetized list of all occupations, because I said any or all industries. This is everything per the schedule, everything we have, and it's alphabetized. Okay, I'm going to cancel out of that and go back. If I go into, let's say we go into auto service. No, let's go into auto service. Okay, now watch what happens when I go into schedule of occupation. Now I just have automobile occupations. Okay, I'm going to cancel out of that. There's one more thing that's really neat. I'm going to go into occupational industries. And if you at the top, the caption says occupational industries, and then it says tap for occupational group. Well, by God, it says tap. Let's tap, right? Bam, here are all of our groups. Now, in my hypothetical, we're adjusting for a crane operator. Now, once again, I have a search engine. Up comes the keyboard. I want a crane operator, but I don't know what occupation that is. I type in crane, and it brings up heavy equipment operator. 351's the group. I'm going to go ahead and double tap on that. I hit it once to highlight it so you could follow me. I double tap on that, and I've just put in my group, and I've finished my rating. It took a 13, adjusted it for age occupation, and brought it up to 20%. You'll see that the combined value is on, but I only have one rating string, so it's 20. Given a maximum PD rate of 230, given a 20% level of disability, we reach 17,365 as the award given the date of injury. But hold it, this is the back injury, and it's only 75% industrial. I want you to look at the rating string before we put in the apportionment. Okay, it's a 15.030100 adjusted for age and occupation. I'm going to tap anywhere outside of that box and bring it back to my input fields. And we're going to go ahead and input apportionment 75% industrial. So I roll up 75%, I double click on that, and look what happened to my rating string. It multiplied my finished 20% by 75% industrial to reach a 15% level of disability, takes that and translates that into an award of $11,615. But let's say that the applicant was less than maximum. He had an average weekly wage of only $300, not $345. I'm going to input that. Now watch, I want you to be aware of what happens to the PD rate maximum caption and how it adjusts everything. I just inputted that. It says now the PD rate, it's not using a maximum rate, it's just using the PD rate given the average weekly wage, and it modifies that. The 15% disability modifies that using a PD rate of $200 for an award of $10,100. But let's say that you're busy, you're working really fast, and you look in your file, you're a defense attorney obviously, and you see what the PD indemnity rate is, but you don't know what the average weekly wage is, and you don't want to look through the file to confirm it, but you know that the PD rate is 175. Let's say it's 175. Oops. $175. You know that's the PD rate. Now, right now, the average weekly wage says it's $300. We hit return. Guess what? 175. His average weekly wage is $262.50, and his award, based on a 15% level of disability, is $8,837.50. Okay. But in my hypothetical, he's also injured his right upper extremity. And so we need to do a second rating string involving the upper extremity. So what am I going to do? In the upper right hand, next to the caption or the title, the logo, CompCalc 2017 Plus, the complex made simple, to the right of that is a plus. And I'm going to hit the plus and watch what happens. I've just duplicated the rating string. And now I'm going to be working on this, and I can move between the two rating strings. You can see how they're reverse highlighted. And now I'm going to adjust this. The first thing I want to do is I want to modify apportionment. It's 100% industrial, okay, on the upper extremity. So I get rid of the apportionment. The second thing I want to do is the whole person impairment on the upper extremity is 8%. I'm going to go ahead and change the whole person impairment from 13 to 8%. You can see how I'm modifying this rating string. Then I want to tap on part of body. And I'm going to go into upper extremity. I'm going to select that. And let's say it's a peripheral neuropathy brachial plexus. I'm going to go ahead and select that. And now you can see, I'm going to go back out. Now you can see I've just modified my rating string for the upper extremity to an 8% whole person impairment adjusted for age and occupation. It produces a 13%. 13 and 15 is 28. But you can see in my field it says combined value on. I've modified that so that the combined value equation is going to take that 15 and 13, and rather than awarding the applicant 28%, the combined value is going to reduce it, and it's going to bring it down to 26%, and it's going to go out there and adjust for the PD rate of 175 based on a 26% level of apportionment, utilizing the combined value equation after adjustment for age and occupation and including a 75% apportionment to the lumbar spine. That produces an award of $18,681.25. You can see how complex these ratings could be and how easy the CompCalc makes it for you. Okay, so now we've just gone through and we've finished our rating. There's one other thing I want to show you. There are times when the combined value equation is not the most accurate under Guzman rating. You might have a synergistic effect, and we have a number of cases that discuss that now. So how do you turn off the combined value? Well, once again, if you're not sure, just tap on the screen until something happens. The combined value says it's on, so I'm going to tap on the combined value on caption, and it turns it off. And now you have an aggregate of 15 and 13, which is 28, and it's adjusted the amount of disability accordingly. I tap it again. Now it's on. It's 26 for 18.6. I turn it off, and now it's 28 for 20,781. So it switches between 26 and 18,681 and 28 for 20,781. So, okay, so now we've just finished our first rating. Multiple parts of body. One string has apportionment. We have less than a max earner, and we've applied all this to come out with the value of the case given whatever report we're rating. Okay, what do we do at this point? Well, we're probably going to want to save this. And so I tap on the export feature. That's the box with the up arrow to the right of the caption, Permanent Disability Rating Manual and Schedule. So it's at the top quarter of your page to the right-hand side. It's the up arrow. I'm going to tap on that, and you'll see that it says Save, Restore, Print, Mail, Copy. It's turning your smart device into a computer. And we're going to save it away. So I'm going to tap on Save, and bam, this comes up. We're going to put the applicant's name in, and we're going to call the applicant, what are we going to call the applicant? Let's call the applicant David, D-A-V-I-D, okay? You have to type it in, Richard, D-A-V-I-D, David. You can put in the physician's name. You can put the date of the report that you're rating. You can put in your ADJ number, case number. It could be your claim number. You can put in the note. This is a Guzman rating of Dr. So-and-so, okay? We need to write for clarification, but this is an early indication of the value of the case. Then you'll see in the upper right-hand corner the vintage icon. You'll see a lot of my icons are vintage because I guess because I'm vintage, but it's a floppy disk. When's the last time you saw one of those, huh? But if you tap on that floppy disk in the upper right-hand corner, bam, I've just saved it away. Now, recall that it's saved away. We're not going to do anything, but I want to show you some other features before we go back and try to export it. The first thing I want to show you is the scratch pad. How do I get rid of one of these rating strings at the bottom? Because remember, I'm doing a bunch of hypotheticals. What if this? What if that? I want to see different ratings, and I want to do it quickly. Now, let's say I want to get rid of the upper extremity. The back is, but there's a question as to whether or not the upper extremity is industrial. If I take my finger and I put it on, I have it highlighted, I put it on the rating string for the upper extremity, and I move it from left to right quickly. Bam, up comes the delete key. I go back, and it's gone. I go left to right, it's there. I go back, it's gone. Now that's one way to erase. If I hit the delete key, that would have erased that rating string. Another way to do it is, especially if you have 6 or 8 rating strings, is to hit the scratch pad. See the scratch pad in the upper left-hand corner? Now it's active. It's an option. Excuse me, I have a little bit of a cold when I'm doing this, but I just can't wait any longer. I have to get these support videos up. So I'm going to hit the scratch pad in the upper left-hand corner. I tap on that, turns to an up thumb, real creative there. But I can pick my different rating strings. And in this way of deleting it, I'm going to hit the minus. Up comes the delete, and that rating string is gone. You can see it automatically readjusted everything. Okay, so, the scratch pad is only active when I have multiple rating strings. Okay, let's say that I want to start on a different file, and I want to clear out my entire rating. Well, the way to do that is to tap on the whisk broom. The whisk broom is in the upper left-hand portion right next to the caption, Permanent Disability Rating Manual Schedule. When I tap on that, it says, warning, this action will remove all inputs. Are you sure? Well, yeah, I'm sure. I want to clear it out. Everything's gone. We're back to a new rating. We can go ahead and take off. I come back the next day and I decide, you know what? I need to print that out. I need to export it, email it out. Let's go ahead and do that. So once again, I hit the export icon, which is on the right-hand side. It's the up arrow box. I tap on that. First thing I have to do is I have to restore it. And I said that his name was David, right? So I'm going to go ahead and double tap on David. There's my rating string. Brought it all back. Now, when I tap on the export feature a second time, my options include print, mail, or copy. Now, if I want to print, watch what happens. I can go ahead and fill this out, but it will ask me, what printer do I want? And right now it's searching to see what printers are out there. I'm going to cancel out of that. And I could have sent it to a wireless printer. If I tap on the up arrow a second time, and this is really neat, this is the feature I use all the time. Let's say I want to email it to somebody. I tap on mail. I can fill out these fields, and I tap on the, again, vintage icon, an envelope in the upper right-hand corner. Tap on that. And look at that. It automatically formatted my rating with all the variables for rating string 1, rating string 2, combined value. But what's really neat for my file is I have a PDF of this now. I don't have to print out my email. I can just print out my PDF, save it away as part of my file. And we're paperless here, so that's an important feature. And if I wanted to, let's say I wanted to send it to somebody, when I start typing, I'm not going to do that because this is going to go on the internet. I want you to see my private email and information that I have on my phone. But if I started to type here, it would search my phone for matching email addresses and bring them up automatically. Is that cool? You better be shaking your head, yeah. Okay, I'm going to cancel out of this, but note that I could go ahead and label it and send it out. I'm going to cancel. I'm going to delete the draft and go back. Okay, now we have just about covered all the features of a rating. I'm going to clear this out. And from apportionment to average weekly wage, combined value, I mean, it does it all. Okay, hopefully you find that of assistance, and go ahead and like us on Facebook, friend us, link us on LinkedIn, and let me know any thoughts or ideas that you have.